So far, we have learned how to solve equations with one variable, multi-step equations, variables on both sides, yada, yada, yada. Okay? We've learned all of that last week. Now we're going to put that in with absolute values. Okay? So, bless you. We are going to evaluate expressions with absolute values. So, when we have a number equal to a variable, what do we do with that? When it gives us an expression and then it says a equals 5. Yes, plug it in, substitute it in. Okay, wherever that a is, you plug in that number, and then we solve. What is absolute value?
How far a number is from 0?
Thank you. Absolute value is the distance a number is away from 0. Can absolute value ever be negative?
No.
No, why?
Because it's however it's
Past 0.
Okay. Can distance ever be negative?
No.
No, that's why. Okay, distance can never be negative, so absolute value is always going to be positive. Little review, what's the absolute value of negative 2?
2.
What's the absolute value of negative 14?
14.
What's the absolute value of 1?
Negative 1.
What's the absolute value of 7?
7.
Yes, always positive, right? Okay. Okay, this one. So we have absolute value of 17 minus b plus 23, and it says b equals 6. What do I do with 6? Plug it in. So we have the absolute value of 17 minus 6 plus 23. Order of operations, treat that absolute value like parentheses. So let's do absolute value first. What's 17 minus 6? 11
Oh my god.
plus 23. What's the absolute value of 11?
30. Oh, 11, my bad.
11 plus 23 gives you 34. Okay, treat the absolute value like parentheses, do those first. Okay, I do want to see work shown. Don't just write answers. It drives me nuts. That's my pet peeve in a math class. Just show your work. Okay. Any questions over evaluating expressions? Just plug them in. Substitute, plug them in. Okay, now we're going to be solving these equations. So, when we're solving absolute value equations, we want to get the absolute value by itself first. Today, the absolute value will always be by itself. You never have to worry about that step, okay? Case 1, we need to set the expression inside the absolute value symbol equal to positive or negative 0. Sorry, positive or 0. And then case 2 would be the opposite. Okay, so if it had absolute value equals 10, what's the opposite of 10? Negative 10. Opposite means what?
Opposite.
What does opposite mean?
It means
The opposite of something.
different from each other.
In math, how are they opposites?
Negative.
Positive and negative. Yep, so opposite, whenever it says opposite, it means positive and negative, okay? So let's talk about this one real quick. It already has it done for you. So you're given this, and you want to solve for x, okay? But since it's an absolute value, we need to do it for both cases, okay? So you're going to have the absolute value, what you started with, so this is the same here. What's different here? What's different between these two?
There's no absolute value.
There's the absolute value is gone. What else is different?
There's a negative on case 2 and not on case 1.
Yep, case 1, it kept the equal sign. It kept the what's on the other side of the equal sign the same. Case 2, it did its opposite. So you need those two different cases. You need the same, and then you need its opposite. Okay, and then you solve them just like we've been solving all week last week. Okay, so you're going to have two different x values for your answers. Okay? On this one, we need to solve. So what would one of my cases be if this is my equation here? Give me one case.
Positive 5.
Okay, yep, keep it the same for the first one. So we have p plus 6 equals negative 5. Everyone write it down. We have p plus 6 equals negative 5. Spencer, what did you say the other case should be?
Positive.
Positive 5. Does the left side switch?
No.
No, keep the absolute value the same. The only thing that switches is its answer. Now we just solved both of those. So what do we do on actually both sides? What do we do? Subtract by 6. What's negative 5 minus 6?
Negative
Negative 11 on this side. You subtract 6. What's 5 minus 6? Negative 1. Okay? So your answers would be negative 11 and negative 1. You're also going to be asked to graph. All it is on a number line. You're just going to plot the points that you get on the number line. Okay? So on this one, how about you guys go ahead and do this one? Go ahead and try this one.
There's answers.
Okay, when it says solve an absolute value equation, what is your next step? When it says solve, what do we need to do?
It's A.
Okay, I didn't ask what the answer was. I asked what we do. What do we do?
Write out the
We do our two cases first, right?
positive 5 and negative 5.
What's one case?
Positive 5.
So one case, keep it the same. 2x plus 3 equals 5. And then how do we flip the other one?
Negative 5.
Negative 5. Left side stays the same. And then you just switch it. Okay? On the top, what's our first step to get x by itself?
Subtract 3.
Subtract 3. Subtract 3. Then you have 2x equals 2. What's our next step?
Divide by 2.
Divide by 2. What do we get for x? So x equals 1. So automatically C and D are out. Okay, on this one, what's our first step?
Subtract by 3.
Subtract 3. What's negative 5 minus 3?
Negative 8.
Negative 8.
And divide by 2, that's
Divide by 2, you get negative 4. So A is our answer, and then they just plotted it on a number line. Okay? Says solve this absolute value expression. What is our first step when solving these?
Plug in the number. There's no number to plug in, so you'd make the difference.
Make both cases. Okay, what's case 1?
You keep it the same.
Case 1, keep it the same. What's case 2?
You change change the sign.
Yep. Only change the answer. Don't change what's inside the absolute value. On the left, what's our first step? How do we get x by itself?
Add 3
Add 3. What's negative 5 plus 3?
to negative 2.
X equals negative 2. And then on the right, what's our step?
Add 3.
Add 3. What's 5 plus 3?
8.
8. So our answers are negative 2 and 8, so it should be A. And they just wrote it in set notation.
What's the
But on your homework, if you just do it like this, I will be okay with that.
what's that?
Skip to this slide. We want to solve the absolute value equation. Once again, the distance from 1 to 6. So it started with these points. It started with negative 4, and it started with 6. We want to find the point that is in the middle. Okay? So, yep, 1 is in the middle because why? How is 1 in the middle?
Because they're both 5 units away.
They're both 5 units away from 1. So that is what that one is talking about right there. Okay?
Well, you're going too far. I don't want to keep going, man.
Skip to this one.
Well, where's this one?
I'm on page 5 of your notes.
Okay, that was easy.
Okay, this one. Absolute value of y minus 1 equals 5.
Yes.
What's case 1?
Just keep the same. And
Keep
then
it the
negative
same. And then this one is negative 5.
5. Yeah.
Now solve. How do we solve?
Subtract 1. Or add 1 to both sides.
Add 1. What's y or 5 plus 1? 6. And then we add 1. What do we get for this one?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. Next one. On this one, we need to find the point that is in the middle. Okay, so we have the points negative 2 and 6. We need to find the point that is in the middle.
2.
How can we do that? How can we do that? What are a couple ways we can do this? Okay, what's a way we can find in the middle?
count the ashes.
Count the ashes? Yep. What's another different way?
The finger thing.
You can. Okay, you can eyeball it. What is the middle? 2. You can do guess and check. So 2 on this side we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 4. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. Guess and check. Okay. What would our equation be?
X plus 2 equals,
Why do you say x plus 2 equals 4?
because 2 is in the middle,
Okay. Why not x minus 2?
because it's positive 2.
Yep. X plus 2 equals 4.